Andy, good morning.
Good morning, kind sir. How are you?
Hey. I don't know if I was the only one, but I tried clicking on the link to join the meeting from the notification, and it kept asking me for a password.
Oh no.
So I ended up going to the email you sent me a few months back for the new link, and that's how I was able to get on.
Great. That's not good.
Yeah, so just giving you a heads up, I'm going, oh man.
That's probably something that didn't get updated when Joe McGuire made the appointment. He had it set and then didn't update it when we had to change it to auto record.
So just giving you a heads up, there may be a bunch of people who may be trying to get on, but can't.
They can't because they don't have a password.
Yeah, box popped up. I'm going, oh no.
No, must have been members. I didn't have an issue. I clicked the link and I got in, no problems.
Maybe it's just me.
No, it's probably others.
Does this one have the? No, the one off the website is definitely triggering asking for a passcode, the one on the homepage.
Well, I went right off the link that was sent over as the reminder.
Yeah, because it's built into the website. It never got updated. So when Joe McGuire made the appointment, we went through and updated a few of them. Apparently they didn't all get caught. So that's not good.
Oh boy. Let's see how many people make it on this morning. I know I'm going to get text messages.
Yep. I got to find what the password is because I have no freaking idea.
Yeah, neither do I.
There is a password. It does exist.
Oh man, it's a secret society.
I can try to send you the link I use. It was from the notification email I got.
That's what I did.
Yeah, mine, I clicked on it, boom, it went through.
Well, you got a special computer, Carol.
Possibly, I don't know. It is fairly new, so I don't know.
So Carol, I don't think I've ever seen you on this call.
No, I am new. I'm out of Buffalo, New York.
Awesome. How's the snow?
Melted, thank goodness.
Wow.
It was, I didn't lose power or anything. The first one we had in November, I was stuck in the house for 4 days.
Wow.
Because I work from home, or I did. So it was, I could see the snow coming down. And when I looked, it was like, holy moly.
Yeah.
But this time it was just the drifts, the blowing that made it crazy. But welcome to Buffalo, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty.
Well, we're gonna see. Let's see who's gonna be getting on over here. So Scott, I think, is supposed to be getting on this call. So we'll see. Hopefully he can get on too. By the way, how'd you hear about us?
Meetup.
Oh, okay, great. Perfect. Not very many people on here right now, is there? Nope.
They're probably all having the same damn problem. They can't get on.
Yep. Man, this is going to be a one-on-one conversation lasting about 15 minutes.
Apparently, we need to get somebody to get on the website and fix all the freaking links. Because the problem is that when Joe created all the appointments, he created them for the entire year off the link, not thinking about the need to record it. Okay. So when they changed them, they must have only changed them for December. He didn't go through and update them for all of the different appointments, all the different meetings that are on the calendar, which means we got to basically delete them all and redo them. Yeah.
Oh man. I go, Andy's not going to hear me saying this to him. I wouldn't have been able to get on if it wasn't for that link you sent to Scott and I. Hey, here's a new. I had to search for it, resend it to me, and then get on that way.
Oh, there's Scott Spear. Hold on one second. He's calling me.
How long have y'all been a group here?
Years,
Oh, wow.
many years. We've been doing Zoom.
Nobody, and there's 4 people on.
So,
Yeah. I know, it's because Joe McGuire set the meeting up correctly. And apparently when we told him, he fixed them through December and didn't fix January's.
are you on the phone with
So
Scott?
I'm plugging in now to try and get it to work. But I'm gonna hang up on you because I'm talking to Joe and one other person and I'm trying to get this done. So I gotta have my phone so I can get my 2FA. All right.
Tell Scott I'm gonna forward him the link.
Yeah, you got it. See ya. That was Scott. So he's gonna get on as soon as I can get this updated on the website.
I just forwarded him the link to get on.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so let me do this here. Let me let him know. I just forwarded you the link to your email to get on the Zoom call. Try that. I don't know how Carol got on. It's just kind of crazy.
Just,
It's probably off
just
of,
clicked and
it's
boom, there it
probably-
was.
It's probably off the meetup and not off the, or off.
Yeah, I was gonna say possible.
Yep.
Because the meetup and the Facebook are correct. The website's the one that's broken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well,
So, because the meetup and the Facebook, you change it once and it changes all of them. The website, you literally have to go through and delete them all.
every
Start
single
over. Every single one has.
Individually, yeah.
that's 24 for ours, or 20 to 22, and then the landlord housing, there's another 20, and then there's a regular. Oh God, you got like 40, 50 calls. You got appointments. Oh my God, to do.
Yep. And everyone has to be done manually. You can't do them all.
Better get a VA. You better get it. I'll let you borrow a VA.
Yeah.
Freya can borrow them.
Yeah, there you go. So Carol, we've been doing the Zoom calls since COVID started. We still do in-person meetings. This one eventually is going to be going in person again. And but because we also have this, they have the housing providers, which are landlords. We also have the regular meetings, which is once a month, that we do live and in person.
And where are you based?
Rochester.
New York?
Yeah, right down the street
That's
from
my
you.
hometown. I was born in Rochester. Remember the Lilac Festival? Highland Avenue, Highland Park. Beautiful.
There you go. Yeah. So a lot of people here are based out of Rochester. We do have some people on sometimes from Niagara Falls or Buffalo and different parts, for people getting on. But yeah.
I'll definitely come to the in-persons. That'd be great.
It's a great meetup. There'll be sometimes 50, 60 plus people there. It's great network. We've had people come in from Buffalo all the time. So it's
Buffalo, Ithaca, Syracuse.
Yep.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so it's a good.
What's going on, Joe?
Scott, how'd you get on?
The only way I got on is the email you sent me, man.
Oh, I don't know if we're gonna have a call this morning. So
Yeah.
I hear you.
Carol's on from
The
Buffalo.
Facebook and the meetup are correct. The website's the one that's broken. So everybody's trying to connect to the stupid website link. I'm trying to update the homepage right now, but they're gonna have to refresh their browser to join using that link.
Yeah.
All right.
And now we're gonna have to go delete them all.
Okay. I'm gonna send this to Gabriel. Because I know he was gonna join today.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's
Let me call him.
now
Come right
correct.
back to you guys.
All right.
It's now correct. Cool.
It's now correct. So people can go to the website, but they're going to have to refresh it because if they were just there this morning, it won't pull the update until they hit the refresh.
We may not be having. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. So,
People have been trying to connect for 15 minutes. They're already gone, but if people try to come on at 9 o'clock and
I'm
connect through the
surprised we didn't get a
website,
bunch of texts saying
Right.
what's the password.
yeah.
How I got on is I tried with the email that came,
Email's
and
wrong.
none of that worked. And then I went on the FREIA website and clicked on like register, like I was gonna register again, and then scrolled down and clicked the Zoom link, and here I am.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're
I
trying to.
just updated it 2 minutes ago because
Oh.
apparently the person who was creating the meetings
Yeah.
only corrected them through December and didn't change them for the rest of the calendar year. So we're gonna have to go through and manually update every single one.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Really.
Great timing, Tiffany. So,
I'm gonna put it on the free page right now.
yeah.
Let's see, expense listing. So this is evening meeting.
Mhm, mhm.
PM. I think I have 3 monitors. That's all I'm gonna say.
I could barely use one.
cool. We got a few more people on here, so we're gonna start a little late because of what's going on. For anybody who doesn't know, on the website, the FREIA website, the link wasn't updated properly. But it's updated now, as some of you know. So we're just gonna give other people a little bit of a chance to come on, and then we'll get this thing started.
Yeah. Hopefully they tried. I know they were able to try it last almost 20 minutes now, so we'll see. So Scott, where are you right now anyways?
Savannah, Georgia. We've been here for 2 weeks now, and we're gonna be here. We're leaving Sunday. Leaving Sunday,
get
go to
to-
Jacksonville, Florida.
Did you get to go to the
Yep.
the cotton exchange?
Not yet. Not yet. We're gonna try to hit that tomorrow.
Nice.
We're definitely coming back here. We like
Well,
it
it's a-
here. We're at Fort McAllister Campground. It's really nice.
Nice. Well, the Cotton Exchange is an old Masonic hall, or it's actually currently a Masonic hall, so they may or may not let you in depending on where it is. Like there's parts of it they do tours in and parts they don't. So I got the full tour. Haha. So
Uh-huh.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, the Zoom link on Meetup is correct.
Sorry, everybody, we're having technical difficulties. For those of you just joining us, the link wasn't correct. So there's a bunch of people who were trying to get on. I don't know, hopefully, I know Andy just luckily refreshed it. We just don't know if the people are gonna go back and actually know that they have to do that again. New year, new
Oh,
problem.
wait, does anybody have any question? Does anybody have any real estate related questions or anything they want to talk about? We'll talk about that for a minute and then we'll kick the meeting now. So if everybody's got a question, go ahead, throw it out there.
There are no shy people allowed on the Zoom call, so all of you better be asking.
Right?
I got one, actually. Joe, would you mind sharing the story today about the, if you can, if we have time, about the storage facility that we were trying to talk about the last meeting, but unfortunately ran out of time, about that facility that it was a freak out story or something like that. I don't know if you remember, but I meant to call you and I never did. You know what I'm talking about?
Which one was that?
I think it was here in New York. I think.
Oh, I think, didn't I remember I telling Scott about it.
You did, and he told me to call you, and like we do each other, we forget to call each other.
I'll do,
And I wanna know if you
I'll do
can.
a real quick, less than 60 seconds here, so, because I don't want to get started here, but a few weeks ago, because I've been going crazy trying to find storage and looking out of state, found something within the state, found something within the hour away from me, and everything was great. They wanted to sell. They own other businesses. It was too much. She's just like, you know what, we're ready. And she talked to her husband. I asked her all the information, and then I was supposed to call her back to see about setting up a time to go there, meet with her, go through the facility, and then because they were ready to sell, and it was going to be a really great deal. It was going to be, I think, what was it? I can't remember. I can't remember if it was a $500,000. I can't remember how much money it was. I don't know if it was $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. I can't remember right now. But bottom line is that everything was great to go. And then all of a sudden, as I called her up, she goes, you know, Joe, we went through, you know, because she had to get the information for me. She goes, Joe, as we were going through the numbers, talked to our accountant, this place makes way more money than we thought.
Oh, no.
And then to top it off, they had 14 more units that they didn't realize that they had. I don't know how they lost count. That's how many businesses they had. And it made almost over 30% more money than what they thought. 35, almost what? Yeah, it was making around $100,000 a year versus $70,000 a year. And she goes, Joe, we can't sell this. I was like, ah. So she goes, Joe, we have to thank you. I go, thank me. She goes, yeah, because of you, we found out this place is there, you know, it's because they're, you know, they're just scattered all over the place. She goes, you know, we found out we're actually making way more money than this place, whatever. And she goes, I'm sorry. And it was like just yanked out. And,
Yeah.
you know, and just by going over the numbers, it would have been an unbelievable, insane. And by the way, she didn't have all her numbers. She actually had to extrapolate them from her accountant. If she hadn't gone to the accountant, she never would have known, and would have been, and I wasn't trying to deceive her. I had no idea that the place made over 30% more than what they thought. And I would have bought it below market value at the current rate where it was at. So imagine that all of a sudden you buy the property, it would have been right around I don't know, 8 or 9 cap. And then all of a sudden it would have been a 12, whatever. Oh God.
Oh my God.
I was crying. So that was the real estate deal. I'm pretty sure I think it was 500 or 600. I can't remember what type it was, but
Yeah.
Made me sick.
Sorry, it sucks.
I know nobody feels
When
sorry
Joe
for me.
told me the story, I was crying too when Joe was telling me his story. I was sad for him, but man, I was laughing so hard. I could not stop laughing. I felt really bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So
Yeah. All I
amazing
keep
story, Joe.
only it keeps repeating is, oh, Joe, thank you so much. We didn't realize how much money this place makes.
That's messed up, but kind of funny.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, you can't feel sorry. People are like, I don't feel sorry for you. It's a $500,000+ deal, blah, 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 blah. There's people out there starving. I'm not asking people to feel sorry for me. So I get it. All right, sorry. That was my quick version of the story. Scott, you want to kick it off? Hopefully people got on.
Yeah, Joe, I'm gonna let you kick it off. We got 17 participants. I'll let you kick it off and then I'm gonna say a few things, but you go ahead, Joe.
Okay, all right. So I know we started a little
Come
bit late. There might be other people joining in. For those who don't know, there was a problem with the link to get on, which is why we're starting a few minutes late. First of all, thank you for joining us. This is the Alternative Real Estate Investment Association meeting. We focus on everything having to do with, I was about to say landlording. Everything having to do with investment. We kind of steer away from landlording. We have a whole different meeting for the housing providers, which is going to be happening next week. That is going to be at Ezzy's. Go on the FREIA website. Starts at 8:30. Networking starts at 9 o'clock. I know Beth Gallagher. I think Beth Gallagher and Pat Gallagher run that. And you can talk about tenants and toilets to your heart is ever so content. We keep this kind of open forum. We want to be able to share ideas, share information on this call. That's what it's designed for. And we don't ever have any real particular subjects we talk about, but we're here to answer questions, whether it's involving any type of real estate. Okay. I don't care if it's wholesaling, flipping, holding, tax liens, whatever it is, we can go over, we will. It just has everything to do with making money. And by the way, everything we talk about, talk to your accountant, talk to your attorney. Don't take what we say as gospel. What may work for us may not work for you, and vice versa. Okay. We also are going to be having, there's going to be the main meeting this month, and my brain cannot remember. Andy, do you remember? By the way, that's going to be next Thursday night at Ferrari's in East Rochester. Check the FREIA website. I think they got one or two speakers coming in. Andy, do you remember it all?
I do not know details. There is going to be a couple of different speakers. I'm looking to see if they updated it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, let me interject then, Andy.
There we go.
So the speakers that we're going to have is going to be, right now is 2 city council members for the city of Rochester. They're going to come in and they're going to talk about what it is that, a little bit different words, how it is that we can work together with the city and the city with us so that we're able to see what we can do to help landlords and also help the city. I should use the term housing providers. And so it's going to be a 45-minute discussion where basically you can ask them pretty much any question that you want to, but that's the general format of it, is to actually try. Let me just start my video here so nobody. So that people are able to interact with 2 city council members, Jose Pio, and also Michael Patterson. And Michael Patterson in particular is in one of the more challenging areas of the city. He's a city council member for that area, which is over in the Joseph Avenue, all the way up to the city. And so just a general discussion, getting input back from them and trying to work through what it is that we can do working together to make things be better, for sake of better words. So now, I'm not sure if they're going to be there at the beginning of the networking. I'm pretty sure that they won't, but I expect that they will be there, particularly afterwards. So if you wanted to sort of corner them, so to speak, and ask them specific questions, you could do that.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah, any questions that folks have? So I hope that when you come to the meeting, you'll come with some questions like, what is it that the city is doing to facilitate the ability of small landlords and also people who are looking to buy properties in the city, and what are some of the things that you have going on? What are some of the things you have coming down the road? example of a question just off the top of my head.
Perfect. Thanks, Leon. We appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And by the way, for any of this information, go to the FREIA website, FFREIA.com. Take a look at it. It'll give you all the information you need to know, the meetups. It's going to be, it's there'll be anywhere between 50, 60 plus people there. There's free food. Drinks are not free, but free food, and great place to meet up and network. Okay. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. I know typically we kick this thing off. I know it's a new year. We got a lot of stuff going on. We want to do real quick some haves and wants, and then we really want to get into, I know Scott wants to go over a few things. Well, actually, Scott, did you
Let's,
want
hey, Joe, if it's okay, before we do haves and wants, we got lots of new people on here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
There's it's been some big changes, been some big changes with FREIA, and we're excited about them. Leon, who just spoke, he is our past president. He was the president pretty much since FREIA started. And we appreciate everything he did. He and Joe McGuire, who was vice president, and Susan Holman, who was our secretary, who recently passed. It's sad. They ran FREIA for a long time. It was a volunteer thing. They did it. They did an awesome job. They kept the group together even through COVID and everything else. They held it together. It was just awesome. And Leon, and I know Joe, I don't think Joe's on here, but we appreciate the job you guys did. We really do. You guys kept it together. And if it wasn't for FREIA, I certainly would not be where I'm at. And I think a lot of people on this group would not be where they're at. And Leon, that's thanks to you and Joe McGuire and Susan. So thank you very much.
Thank you for the words. Thank you.
Yeah. And now it's Matt Druin is the new president of FREIA. And if anybody doesn't know him, you should get to know him. He's doing some really good things in Rochester. He has purchased some historical buildings that fell into disrepair and has brought them back to life. He's doing lots of good things in Rochester. So we're looking forward to what he has to bring to FREIA. So that's very exciting times right now. And you're all in the right place at the right time. What I'd like to do, Joe, if this is okay with you, since we have a lot of new people on here, I'd like for everybody to just kind of go around the room and introduce themselves. Just your name, where you live at, where you're at in your real estate career. If you're brand new, that's fine. If this is your first meeting, that's great too. And or if you have 100 units, let us know. Let us know where you're at with that. So name, where you're at in real estate, how you heard about us, how you heard about FREIA, and then also what is maybe a goal that you have for 2023. So typically we'll go alphabetically, but I want to make sure we get through everybody. But I do want to start out. I'm gonna break the alphabetical rule, and I want to introduce Michelle Wheeler. She's on here. I'm real glad to see her on here. Anybody who doesn't know her, a good person to get to know. She's a money lender. They recently had a property management company. They've owned some rental real estates. They've done some flips, tons and tons and tons of real estate experience here. So I'm gonna let Michelle Wheeler introduce yourselves. Michelle, I'm glad to see you here. Michelle, go ahead and tell everybody who you are.
Good morning. I'm getting over COVID, so forgive how I might look or sound. Michelle Wheeler, my husband Alex and I had a property management company, High Falls, for about 12 years, and we have wound down that part of our life. We're now focusing on real estate, private lending, and we're seeking out other opportunities in 2023. Been with FREIA a long time and look forward to all of the new changes that are coming with 2023 in FREIA. And I put my contact information in the chat. So if anyone wants to reach out to discuss anything, feel free to reach out.
Excellent. Thanks, Michelle. And yeah, if you'd like, put your contact information in the chat. We welcome that very much. So next up, if you guys have ever watched Wizard of Oz, and when they get to the end, it's a spoiler alert. There's a man behind the curtain, and our man in Freya, who's behind the curtain all the time, making sure things happen, operating things, keeping things running and flowing well. Andy McQuaid. Andy, why don't you go ahead if you can, unless you're busy updating the website or something like that. Let's go ahead and introduce yourself, please, Andy, and tell us what you do.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm wandering around my house as I go from computer to computer trying to troubleshoot all these wonderful things. So I'm a consultant. I work in real estate primarily. I do some other stuff. If you want to read my life story, it's up on andymcquaid.com. Kind of a website relaunch just got done for that. But I work mostly with multifamily buy and hold value add investors, and I help them make more money. A lot of operational overhead that they don't see, a lot of buying power they're not taking advantage of. They don't necessarily have the team in place to do cost segregation or to do tax assessment challenges. I bring people that are in my back pocket into that relationship, and I help them maximize their profitability for their properties. And it could be, 25 single family homes scattered around a couple different cities, or it can be apartment complexes. The basics are the same for both. It's a lot easier to scale in multifamily because everything is in one place for the most part. So that's kind of what I do. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All my stuff is on the Freya website and on my personal website at andymcquaid.com. That's it.
Excellent. Thanks, Andy. That's the big thing about this group is the networking and the power of the people in this group. As you're going around listening to people, who they are, what they do, just write down a little thing to remind you of what they do. And it's all about networking. If you can help other people in their business, trust me, they're going to return it tenfold. And I've always found that. That's what networking is all about, helping other people, getting further yourself. And if you go into helping somebody and not expect anything in return, what comes back is tenfold, trust me. So Andy has been awesome. Andy has passed some deals on to me and has helped me a lot through his career. We've known each other for a lot of years, and Andy's just awesome. So he is dealing with bigger clients, like, the Broadstones of Morgan Management, big companies, and helping them. So good. Thanks, Andy. Okay. Next up, I'm going to call out Brandy, even though I can see her face, sort of. Brandy, she's a wholesaler.
I already knew you were
Deals,
going to do
making
that.
deals happen and all that, but go ahead, Brandy.
Thanks,
Go ahead,
Scott, for that
Brandy.
lovely
Sorry.
introduction. Yes, I'm Brandy. I've been a wholesaler for about 5 years. And one of my goals is to be like Scott Spear and travel the world, get an RV. That's all I keep talking about. And I'm trying to get Joe on board. So that's kind of a goal that I'm trying to work towards. But other than that, that's about it. Is there any other questions that I missed?
I think you got them all. Thanks, Brandy. Cool.
All right, yes,
All
push
right.
Joe a little bit
Next
for me,
up is
please.
Carol. Oh,
Ah,
push him which
hello.
way? You can't. You say you can't. What do you want me to do?
I want you to push him. We gotta get this RV and we gotta travel with you.
Actually, I have
Hey,
a
Brandy, have you ever
37
heard?
footer, and I'm stuck in Buffalo. Usually I'd be a snowbird in Florida, but my husband recently passed, so I didn't
Aw,
feel like doing it this
Oh,
year. But I
okay.
will be out there next year, and I'm gonna rent that bad boy out when I'm not using
aw.
it. Kind of like an Airbnb on wheels. It's great though, but you gotta hook up sewer and all that. Anyway,
Absolutely.
my name is, yeah, it's a process. My name is Carol Price. I am actually new to the game. My husband and I were going to get into it, and he fell ill, and it just got put on the back burner. But I want to start out wholesaling to stack some money, do some flips possibly. I am putting together a distress list of motivated sellers. So that is my starting goal, Brandy. I actually would love to pick your brain at some point because I really do want to start out wholesaling. Eventually, I want to be where everyone else is and do the buy and holds and be a private money lender myself possibly. But right now, it'll be wholesaling.
Yeah, definitely give me a
Oh,
call.
and
I
I'm
put
in
my-
Buffalo, actually. I'm sorry. Yes.
Say, I put my number in the chat. I don't know if you saw it or
I
not.
did. I wrote it down. That's what I was doing. I have it. Brandy
All right.
Wholesaler. Pick your
Perfect,
brain.
perfect. No problem.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to that.
Same here.
Great, Carol. We're glad you're here. Welcome from Buffalo.
I was
hope you
actually
didn't
born in
suffer a lot from
Rochester
all
too,
the
so
snow.
this would be like going home. Great.
Nice, nice. Brandy, to go back to your question, have you ever heard the term "you can't push a string"?
No, actually, I've not.
Okay. Next time you find a string, put it on the table and try to push it and see which way it goes. That's
Oh
what I
my
feel like
gosh.
whenever I try to push Joe to do something. You can't push a string, they say.
That's
So-
funny. I like that. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, there you go. So that's my boy Joe. Joe and I talk quite often. We're very fortunate to be able to call and rely on each other, and you know, that's what this group's about. So thanks. All right, next up we have Dennis Russell. Go ahead, Dennis.
How you doing? Dennis here. I'm out of Niagara County. I have a couple Airbnbs with my father. This year I'm looking to buy more multifamily and maybe some self-storage too. Anywhere really is just as long as the numbers make sense, and we're trying to, scale to probably 20 units or so this year. If anybody has anything, give me a call, put my stuff in the chat, and that's where I'm at. Happy New Year.
So thanks. We're glad you're here. All right. Next up is, and I'm not sure if this person can speak or not, but I show Freedom First REIA, the host.
No,
Whoever that is, would you like to introduce yourself?
that's also me, Scott.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's you? Okay. All right.
that's not D or Joe.
All right.
Andy, you
I
gotta
had
go
to
again
walk
then.
out managing the mess that we made this morning. So
All right. I was hoping it was Dolores or no. All right. Next up, we have, and I'm sorry, I apologize if I mispronounce it. Frank Ghost. Is that it?
Hi, it's Francois Bessing. How's it going? My connection is a little iffy where I am. I'm waiting for RG&E to turn on some utilities for a property, and the place in town where I am is not very good. So my name is Francois Bessing. I'm also known as the operatic realtor. Yes, I did study opera, and I'm a bass baritone and available for bookings. Thank you. But in the world of real estate, I am an agent with eXp Realty. I work both in commercial and residential. I have off-market properties. Because of the connectivity issues, I heard someone say something about a multifamily looking to scale. I have 13 properties off-market. I'm happy to put my contact information in the chat box afterwards. I manage an Airbnb. I started up 2 Airbnbs and manage them and have a property management company as well. And what I'm looking to do in 2023, I would love to save up enough to get my first investment property. So that's what I'm currently working towards. My name is Francois, and glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, great. We're glad you're here. Thanks for jumping on video too. All right. Next up is my good friend. We probably talk on a daily basis. We often joke, we talk to each other more than we talk to our wives. His name is Gabriel. He, up to a couple years ago, owned a restaurant and recently sold that, decided to jump into real estate and wholesale. And he's wholesaling self-storage. He's doing an awesome job. And I know he's got a big 2023 in front of him. So go ahead, Gabe.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Yeah, guys, Happy New Year. And my name is Gabriel Petsios. I am now a full-time real estate self-storage wholesaler. Normally I have a background says I buy self-storage, but because I was scrambling to find another link in the last 5 minutes, 11th hour of the meeting, I couldn't have one on, but I buy self-storage just like Scott and Joe and everybody else here, or whoever wants to. What was I talking about? Oh, my goals for 2023 is to continue my core of my business, but by the second quarter of this year, I want to have at least one or two, and I'm going to be very clear about this again, is under contract to acquire a facility to either be an equity partnership in or to operate ourselves, and we take it on from there while still wholesaling and peppering it with wholesaling facilities. So I don't know, and I apologize if we're doing halves, wants, and needs right now, but I'm gonna say I want to buy self-storage anywhere. And if we're not, I'll, let me know. But I'll put my contact information in the chat box in any event, but it's gonna be a hell of a year though. Can't wait. I hope I got everything. Any questions? So
Excellent. Very good. All right. From one beginner wholesaler to a very seasoned wholesaler, I'm going to say he is the largest wholesaler that I know. He's definitely the largest wholesaler in Rochester. I would not be surprised if he's the largest wholesaler in New York. And then in the United States, he is a one-man band. And as far as a one-man band who operates, he is the largest one I know. And I know a few of them across country. So next up, Joe Lababera, if you want to learn about wholesale and listen to what this guy has to say. Go ahead, Joe.
Thanks for putting me on the spot, Scott.
No problem.
Joe Lababera. I do wholesaling. I know I buy, hold, fix, flip, do commercial and residential properties. One of the goals for this year is definitely going to be a storage facility. I am looking at more commercial opportunities, and geez, what am I missing here? Did I just go over everything in a nutshell?
I think so.
Yeah. So that's yeah. So basically one of the other things I do is either start, I've been transitioning out of the smaller deals into the bigger deals. Also, that's going to also be one of the other goals for this year too.
Oh, thanks. All right. Next up, Josh Robbins. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Nice to meet everybody. I am new to this group. I'm actually on the call with my business partner, Will Cottrell. He is under the weather, so I'm going to speak for both of us today. We are actually both out of Massachusetts, but Will spent a lot of time in Rochester. He went to school there, lived there for about 10 years. So we started our investment journey this year. We have 8 units, 4 properties, buy and hold multifamilies. That's what we're continuing to look for. So definitely all of our wholesalers here, we'd definitely like to keep in touch. And yeah, in 2023, we're just looking to continue to grow and scale our business. We're looking for a property manager too. We have somebody local, but they're not professional. So we're looking to transition to that. If anybody has some good recommendations, we'd love to hear them too. So nice to meet you all. Look forward to talking to you as we go forward.
Cool. All right. Josh, a recommendation for property manager. He is one of our vendor partners. Oh, actually, they are. And that is Pat Gallagher, Gallagher Property Management. We can put up his contact information in the chat. So it's Beth and Pat Gallagher. They run a big operation. They do a great job, and they are a vendor member.
Awesome.
Also, another person, Carl Weeks. He runs the landlording group, and he's been landlording or property manager longer than anybody I know in Rochester. So yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. All right. We'll drop their contact info in the chat here. All right. And all right. So thanks, Josh. All right. Next up is Kelly Lane. Kelly is an investor and she's an agent. I know she's been on these calls a few times, but look forward to hearing what Kelly has going on and what her plans are.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly Lane. As Scott said, I'm an investor first and kind of got into being an agent after we had purchased a number of properties. We are currently getting a short-term vacation rental up and running. Really excited about that. We had been primarily buy and hold up to this point. So kind of looking at something a little bit different and also using that to create a space for us to get away. So really trying to balance the investment and also investing in areas where we want to be. So that's kind of new and exciting in my world, and doing all of the learning that goes along with Airbnb management and building a team around that. So really excited to, hear from other folks who are doing the same thing.
Thanks. All right, next up, you heard from him a little bit earlier, but now we're going to hear more about what he does and where he's at, where he's going. Leon Griggs, go ahead. Leon.
Okay, a little bit of a surprise there, but yes, right now I'm sort of, I guess I should turn on my video. Right now I'm sort of trying to re-gauge things a bit. Being a president of FREIA for the last 12 plus years, it's takes up a fair amount of time. And as Scott indicated earlier, it's a not-for-profit organization, so all the time and energy and work is basically, you can say for free, but clearly one of the big things you get back is that great feeling you get from helping people and helping other folks to be successful. I mean, right now I'm looking at trying to focus more of my time on specific projects that are associated with building my portfolio and really to get into some things like Airbnb and things of that sort. And although I'm not going to be president of Freedom First, I still expect that I'll be doing quite a large amount of things that's associated with it. So just sort of trying to refocus and get more into things that I like doing. I really love doing rehabs, and so I'll do some more of those things. And if there are wholesalers who have properties, then take down my name and number. I put my information in the chat. I might actually give Carol a call because I'm looking at going outside of the immediate Rochester area, and I'm somewhat familiar with Buffalo, so things.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. That'll be great.
Yep. So that's it for my side of the fence, so to speak.
Thanks, Leon. And Leon's a wealth of knowledge. For anything from self-directed IRA, he's taught me a lot of things about self-directed IRA, and I thank God for that because I've been able to increase the value of my IRA through real estate. It's awesome. And if you want to know more information about that, I can point you to the right people that can help you with that. Don't talk to your financial advisor because he may not know about it and or he may not benefit from doing it. So, but if you can find a way to self-direct your IRA into real estate, it's awesome. So, and Leon's been a big help on a lot of things for me. So I guess I'm next. I'm Scott Spear. I'm up here just kind of rambling away. I'm Scott Spear, one of the original members of FREIA. Joe Laubert and I partnered up to run this alternative group. We love it. My wife and I are full-time RVers. We sold our house and 90% of our contents in November of 2020. We've been on the road ever since, and it's been awesome. We love it. It's not, it's not without its challenges. I'll admit, it's not all perfect, but it's pretty good. Let me say that. We love it. I was a flipper, did lots of rent to owns in Rochester, had a bunch of rentals, did some flips and wholesaled a few properties too, did some private lending. I've pretty much have sold completely out of that. I really don't do much private lending anymore. Well, I do, but the private lending is in self-storage. My main focus right now is self-storage. I transitioned around 2018, starts out with portfolio, 2019, 2020. And then I got into self-storage and just been ramping that up ever since. Works great for the lifestyle we have. And it's awesome. And I would absolutely not be where I'm at without FREIA, without the people in FREIA, the people I've met in FREIA, the contacts I've made in the network. I would not be where I'm at without FREIA. So that's for sure. So thanks. Okay, next up, I believe we have Tiffany, right?
Hi guys, my name is Tiffany Van Weingarten. I work underneath Josh Rosenberg. I run and am the eyes and ears for
You're
the show.
Tiffany.
Yes, I'm the Tiffany. So I'm the eyes and ears for everything here. Josh will come right out and tell you I run the show. You know, he does the behind the scenes stuff, but it's all me here. It's just him and I. I handle all of the property management for all of the properties that we own. So I don't property manage anyone else's properties. I only property manage ours. And then I help him do anything involving, you know, the purchasing and selling of new properties. Just got my real estate license recently, so that I can get going with that, to be able to help him even more and to help us grow. As far as our 2023 goals, one of the biggest things we're doing is selling off all of our single family properties in the rougher neighborhoods. When he purchased those or we purchased those, we did that pretty much to get our feet on the ground in Rochester. And now we're looking to get rid of those, move into the nicer areas, outskirts of Rochester per se, more in the suburbs. Last year we grew by about 40%, which is huge. So this year we're looking to kind of go into a different direction. We might buy, 6 to 10 single family homes in the suburbs, but really what we're looking to move into is that industrial commercial space. He's got some pretty good visions that we've worked on together as far as what we're looking for. So that's kind of the realm we're heading into, and we'll see where that goes.
Awesome. Thanks, Tiffany. You have to get Josh on a couple of these Zooms. I know he's driving a big freighter. What Josh does is pretty amazing.
Yeah, he actually is off the boats now. So he's not doing the boats anymore. He retired from that. If you can say he retired, I mean, I don't know. He's young, but he did it. I mean, he left there pretty much retiring. He is now doing a lot of stuff in Long Island. He's actually purchased some properties there as well. But right now he's not on the call today because he's on his way to Israel. So I don't know if you know, Josh is Jewish.
That's
and
super cool.
He is headed on that trip. So that's why he's not here today. But I told him he needs to get on. He's come to the events, it's just with what he does in Long Island when he's not here in Rochester, he just, he can't carry his phone with him. He's not on a laptop. He's not a desk guy. You know what I mean? When he's in Long Island, he's the construction guy. So it's a little bit different. So, but he'll be on. I'll make sure he gets on. He's an awesome guy. Very grateful for him as my boss for sure.
JD just joined. He just hopped on. He just texted me. He finally figured out the link. So he's on. Let's put JD on the spot too, Scott.
All right, tell JD what he's got to talk about.
JD, introduce yourself, what you're doing, how your real estate investing is going, what your future plans are, and all that fun stuff. He is at work, so he'll only be talking, no camera.
Okay, cool.
Everything's going okay, having some pitfalls with investing, but nothing crazy. And going forward, I'm probably going to be focusing more on storage.
And why storage specifically, other than because Scott talks it up all the time and absolutely loves it?
Well, I'm currently dealing with a tenant and I'm like, okay, this is in my future.
Fair enough. So specifically, how long has that tenant been in your property?
Uh,
4
5
months?
months.
5 months?
5 months.
And how long have they not paid rent for?
This is the 3rd month.
Jesus. I'm sorry, man. That's not good.
I
First
did the due diligence.
investment property, right? And your old house that you used to live in physically.
Yeah, they're really clean and neat. It's just not paying. So
Yep. Not ideal.
it'd
Sorry
be like that
about that.
sometimes. It's all good. It's a learning process.
It is at that the school of hard knocks is definitely one of those things.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just keep pressing, JD. It gets better. Don't worry. We've all been through it. If you've owned one rental or 100 rentals, you've been through it. You just have to press through. It's not easy. I had my struggles in rentals, but I've also made out very well with rentals. It's a job. It's a job. So just make sure you get a good attorney, get them out, and move on. So don't wait. Don't put up with the stories. Michelle Wheeler, I'm sure, could tell you 100,000 different stories on tenants that didn't pay. So, all right, cool. Thanks. Next up, let's see. We have Tracy Belmont. If you're still around, there you are. Coming on the video. Cool.
Hi, everyone. I am Tracy Belmont, and I'm relatively new to FREIA. Been learning a lot these last several months, and I want to start off wholesaling. So looking for cash buyers. I don't want to do that exclusively, but that's definitely where I want to start, and eventually gets into some buy and holds, maybe Airbnb or a mixture of that in a multifamily. But at this point, I'm going to start with wholesaling. So that's where I'm going to start. I haven't done any deals yet, but looking to learn and really start and hit the ground running.
Awesome. Okay, I think we hit everybody. If you didn't have a chance to speak, please let me know. But I think we got everybody on the call. Cool. All right. Okay, cool. Let's Joe, I'll let you take it away. Sorry to take the show from you for a couple minutes, but I'll let you go around the room and do the have needs wants. So
let's go. I think we already did the have needs and wants all at the same time. So I think we're okay. Everyone tells what they want, unless there was anything that they're looking to sell. Oh, I think we're good. Which is the great thing about what you just did. Everybody knows that what everybody's looking to buy and do, which is fantastic. And I see on the chats, people are putting up their contact information. So really network with this and with everybody on here, which is good. Scott and I, we like to keep this thing kind of open forum. You know, there's always things we can go over ourselves. I don't know, Scott, anything you want to go over, but we always like to put it out to people. If you have questions, put it out there, you know, because we want to be able to learn from each other and we want to be able to, you know, network and see how we can all work and help each other on here. So I don't care if it's a deal you're working on or a potential deal, or you have a question on whatever part of your real estate journey you're on, let us know. Put it out there and don't be shy on this call. We got some shy people on here, Scott. Not one person has a question.
I'm in the very, very early stages. So give me next week. I will be at the Ferraris in East Rochester. So I'm sure I will have numerous questions at that time.
Yeah.
In person. So I'm just putting together my list. I mean, very early stages.
Yeah. You know, right now it's the beginning of the year for everybody. And so one of the things that a lot of people are trying to get situated, and a lot of people are trying to get their quote unquote goals done. And some of them are looking back on what's going on, and some of them were disappointed. Some of them were not. Some of them are beating themselves up. We're all getting the phone calls from different people. And I was, I was listening to a podcast not too long ago, and one of the things that person being interviewed said, which actually, and he said it, we all know this, but he just said it in such easy, eloquent way. And he goes, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what's happening, no matter if you've hit your goals or not hit your goals, action is the cure all to everything. And when he said that, I was like, wow, we all know this. He just said it way quicker, better, faster, easier, and going into the new year, we've technically, realistically, if you think about it, we've got 51 more Saturdays till the end of the year. Actually 51 more Saturdays till the end of the year, 50 more Saturdays till Christmas. Just in case anybody wants to know right now. So don't kill me for telling you that. So, start breaking things down and figure out whatever it is you got to do. But January is always a time where people want to take the action to do what they got to do. Just understand, I think 80 to 90% of the people by, I think, the 27th of January have already given up and have already, said, well, they went from I'm going to do it to I'm going to give it a shot to I'm going to try. Okay. They're not going to be probably going anywhere. They're waiting to have it happen by osmosis, and that's not going to happen. So, for me, ever since I heard that action is the cure all to everything, figure out what you got to do and just do it.
So Joe, can I just interject for a second here?
Yeah.
So back when I very first started doing things in real estate, I was part of like this mastermind class, and basically, building your foundation for what it is you're going to do in real estate, and so one of the main things that I got out of it was the words that you just gave, and it was a little bit different. It's almost like when I'm talking to Carl Weeks and I say, it's all about the numbers. And Carl says, no, it's about the real numbers. So the one bit of input that I got was associated with action. And the main thing that Tim Winters talked about, who was one of the instructors for the class, was massive action cures most problems. So, and you must have massive actions. And so it's just that word massive just gives a little bit more emphasis to the fact that you really have to put forth the effort, and if there's an issue, just really go after it. Just really go after trying to solve it. And so massive action is the only piece that I wanted to clarify. It's really the same thing, but just a little bit more emphasis on the importance of action.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to interject that, Joe. I certainly agree with your comments.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and all of us want to be able to learn from each other. So that's how come we always like input from everyone on this. This is a very personal call, or a personal Zoom meeting, at least that we can actually go over stuff. We're in a big setting. We don't always get this opportunity. Okay. And I don't know if Scott wants to add anything onto this, or Scott, if you had anything, because I know we didn't get a chance to talk before you jumped on. Typically, we'll try to get a hold of each other, but it's been a nutty morning, I guess.
Yeah, I maybe another part of this is we should kick off like good news or success stories or something like that, something that's happened like within the last 2 weeks. Some people have had some successes, and maybe we should start the calls like that to kind of get some people pumped up and say, hey man, things are working and things are going. And we also certainly want to talk about the things like what JD's going through. You know, it's a landlord issue, but you know, if you got something that's not working or need some help with something, that this is where we do this. This is where we, you know, kind of pencil things out. If you got a property that you're struggling with, or you're not sure how to put a deal together or something like that, this is that time. But I am going to call out Gabriel. He had a recent, I'm gonna say pretty big success. I'd like for him to talk about. Gabe, you cool talking about this?
Yeah, yeah. So our latest success was that we closed on a parcel of land in Churchill, Tennessee, 2.78 acres of land that Scott and I wholesale with Storage Rebellion Network member RG Ewing, who's going to develop the land for self-storage and build self-storage on it because it's already zoned and what have you. But the reason how it happened was back in April, in the process of doing my calls, I called this gentleman in Tennessee, Mr. Ernest Thomas, and you know, at the time he had a storage facility, and he said that he didn't want to sell his facility because, you know, he wanted to keep it for his granddaughter. And said, you know, I said, well, you know, what are you gonna do? I mean, I'll call you in 6 months, kind of, or whatever, 3 months, 6 months, whatever kind of thing. He's like, but wait. He goes, but I have a piece of land. I said, oh. He goes, it's not, you know, it's just sitting there, but I want to sell it, but it's zoned for storage. I said, okay, you know. So you know, we talked more about it and what have you. And I never did land before, you know, a piece of land. And I talked to Scott about it. I'm like, can we just take this down and try? I was like, yeah, what the heck, you know? So, you know, and the good news is that, you know, it took a little more time than usual because we had to go to the town. They kept postponing the approval, and just to make sure that it was, you know, properly zoned and all the, you know, all the channels you got to go through when you go through town board meetings and zoning meetings. You know, $140,000, if I may, you know, see these things here, but $140,000 they bought it for. We put a $40,000 wholesale fee on it. So a total 180. So, you know, but it was successful. Everything went smoothly, you know, and it was good. Now, here's the thing. Here's the kicker, though, is the gentleman that said that I talked to back in April said that he didn't want to sell his facility. Now, TNC, everyone knows about time and circumstance. Well, this is a time when we help each other as well, because I don't know if you talked about it before, about helping people out and giving them solutions to their problems. I called Mr. Ernest Thomas on Monday or Tuesday, was it, this week. I called him to congratulate him and to thank him on the successful closing and what have you. His daughter answered the phone. And we were talking, and she began to tell me how he was sick for a few weeks and how he's been in the hospital for like 12 days. And I'm like, what happened? I mean, I talked to him a month ago, you know, he was like yelling and bitching me about the closing, whatever. I'm like, what happened, you know? And he's like, well, he has pancreatic cancer. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the heck, you know? And it happened so quickly, I guess. I don't know. But the thing is, though, is well, I feel terrible about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. And I don't want to sound callous about this, but it provides an opportunity to help him out, because now he's changing his mindset, you know, from what he wanted to do with his granddaughter. Because I also talked to his granddaughter as well. I called her the very next day to, you know, offer my sympathies. And I wanted to keep their relationship open. And she thanked me, of course, and was very appreciative of everything we've done, of me calling her. And she also told me, keep the line open. You can call me anytime. That's the kicker right there, though, I thought, because I formed this relationship with her. And I really feel bad. I genuinely feel bad about Mr. Thomas, you know, great guy. But the key is the relationship I developed to where now I can somehow down the road talk to her about the facility, because now, you know, she works, she has a job, she has her grandfather to take care of, you know, all these things going on. she may not be able to exactly manage the facility as she used to. So you know, you got to keep at it. You just got to keep at it. And you know, it's so funny how everything shifted from the generating new leads. All of a sudden this year, I have over 300 follow-up leads I got to follow up with, you know, just because of the accumulation of keeping relationships and stuff like that. So good success there, you know, I mean, not, you know, on our part, but I think that keeping that relationship going is gonna pay out in the end in all ways. And I hope nothing happens to him. I really, really do. So it's my story. I'm sticking to it. So.
Thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate that, Gabe. Yep. And question for you, Gabe. How long have you been doing calls for now? Did you say?
Since August, well, as far as I recorded my CRM, I think August of 21. So mid-August is when I first built my CRM and what have you.
So 16 months, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, 16 months. And you have how many leads to follow up on? 300?
300 and change. I don't know the exact 320, I think, as of for this month alone. I counted yesterday, something like 320 or something like that, because I'm out, you know, so yeah, about that many alone.
Awesome. And those are warm leads. So I ask them those questions because, you know, I know some people want to get into wholesaling and stuff like that, and that shows persistence and consistency. Trust me, there's gonna be hard days, man. You're gonna call, you just want to beat your head against the wall when you're making phone calls and stuff. But Gabe doesn't. He kind of presses through, and that's the thing. He has 320 decent leads to follow up on in 16 months. That's what 20 leads a month. That are good, solid leads. These aren't just cold calls. These are leads that he's following up on. So that shows persistence, consistency. And in 2023, that's what you're going to need. If you want to move the needle forward in your real estate business, just be persistent, consistent, follow up, treat people right. And that's the thing. You know, time and circumstance. I mean, who knew when Gabe put in the offer a while back to purchase this guy's property from him that this would happen, pancreatic cancer. So it was good timing. And, you know, his family can focus on taking care of him and taking care of that because the property is sold. You know, Gabe is going to follow up with him. And I think that's awesome. So that's the thing. Just put yourself in other people's shoes and be compassionate, and you'll be successful at this. So thanks, Gabe. Thanks for sharing that.
Scott, can I add real quick on to something that Gabe did, Scott? Oh, can you hear me?
We can hear you,
good,
Joe.
Joe.
Go ahead. You go, and then Gabriel goes.
Oh, no, I'll let Gabriel go first. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Joe. I just want to say one more thing and I'll be quiet. And talk about the follow-up leads, by the way, the leads that I've generated into the warm leads. It's very interesting though, when you keep at them, is that, and I didn't know this of course, I'm still new in this business, that 2 leads already, one in Tennessee and one in Texas. Last year, they said, no, I'm not selling. I called them again in November, I don't know when, whatever. Before last year, before the year end. But now they're saying, yes, I submitted an offer on one of them. I'm trying to get a hold of the other guy. I submitted an offer on the other guy if he answers my phone call for once. We know that. So, you know, it's interesting how you just keep those leads and just keep pressing and pressing and pressing. And how they say no today, well, they'll say yes tomorrow. You're still mine. I'm not going to let you go. So don't let them go. That's the key. Don't let them go.
Yeah.
So that's all. So.
There is a question in chat. JD asked for, I guess, a quick explanation of what wholesaling is. So I will let the expert wholesalers step in and answer that.
Go ahead, Gabe.
Well, okay. I was hoping you would, but in a nutshell, it's how I explain it, flipping on steroids. No, it's essentially you're getting a contract. You find a deal, and you work the numbers, massage the numbers, and try to get them to where it fits and all the criteria, and then you get the property, whatever, maybe storage, residential, whatever, under purchase sale agreement. And then once you have the agreement signed, you now find a buyer, you know, whether it's in your network or pool of whatever. And that buyer looks at the numbers as well, and then they take on that property under their LLC or their name. But when you sign that contract, there's a fee for that contract because you did 80-90% of the work, I would say, because getting the deal is a pain in the ass sometimes. So we all know that. So, you know, that takes that's the grunt of it. So, you know, the fees, I think, are justified, you know, because of all the work that's involved. So if I didn't explain it well enough, I'm sorry, but I hope I did.
Well, can I add on to that? And
Please, Joe, I didn't want to say anything.
No. Actually, no, I like the way you explained it. I want to add on to that. And I also want to talk about which is going to be perfect transition for JD's question and what you're doing. Okay. First of all, in regards to what Gabe was able to do, you know, between him and Scott generating a $40,000 assignment fee or a wholesale fee. Okay. Basically, you know, you're buying $100,000 piece of property, you're getting it for 40 and you're selling it to somebody else for 50 and you're leaving enough meat on that deal. That way there's, you know, they're getting, you know, it leaves them enough meat to be able to make a good amount of profit. Okay. Now, if you take what Gabe did, okay, what Gabe did too, which I don't know if he may realize it or not. Gabe was basically a solution for these people. Okay. And a perfect example is, and this is on a small, this is something that happened that actually happened. We got the deal yesterday. Now, I ended up talking to a lady about 2.5 months ago, and I was literally trying to help her out, to help her save this property she inherited. Gabe was working with a gentleman who, unfortunately, you know, he had a piece of property that obviously he needed to get rid of it. Okay. So Gabe was actually the solution for this guy. The woman that I dealt with, she had dealt with another investor. And I spent about a half hour on the phone with her. The other investor went there, looked at it, nice guy. I know who the other investor is. He's a good guy. So listen, if you go with him, you're going to do just fine. It's not a problem. I end up spending a half hour on the phone with her. I get the phone call last week from her saying, hey, you know what? It didn't, you know, I need to get rid of this thing. I just need to get rid of it. It's going to help me a lot. I'm going through some medical issues. And I'm like, well, what about the other person? She goes, you seem to understand me a little bit more. Please come take a look at it. Okay. So the solution-oriented part of that was for her and for the gentleman that Gabe was dealing with. And by the way, what Gabe is also doing, talking to was it the niece, Gabe, or was it the grand? Who was it you were talking to, or was it the daughter?
The daughter on Tuesday and the granddaughter on Wednesday.
The granddaughter, okay. And you know, he's not doing it to just try to be opportunistic. Okay. He's actually genuinely concerned, and they actually know that. So that's how come she left the door open for him. And it's probably what, just out of curiosity, what do you think that deal's worth overall? What is it, like how much money?
If I do the facility?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been a minute since I looked at it. So I don't remember how many square feet it was. I think.
Well, it doesn't matter. What are you thinking? 500,000? Is it a $500,000 deal?
Oh, yeah, around 5 or 6.
Okay. All right. All right. So by him doing that, okay. So now Gabe, to that granddaughter, he's going to be a solution to her. He knows he's there to say, hey, you know what? He can take this thing over and we'll basically be able to get to, if this thing becomes a problem. Okay. Now that's on a grander scale. So now let's bring it back down to this smaller deal that I'm doing right now. The small deal was basically, we went there, we looked at it, and I also brought the buyer with me because I know what the buyer is, and I know what he's looking for. Went and looked at it. I got it under contract. And the crazy thing about it is that now, number one, not only did I get it under contract, I also sold it right then and there. Okay. So I helped her, and I also got the wholesale fee. So, the guy who had looked at it 6 months earlier or 7 months earlier, before me, and then I talked to her a few months ago, he offered her about I don't know, 13, 14, $15,000 more than I did. Okay. And then I asked her, I go, why don't you go back? She goes, no, you're the one that's going to be able to help me. Even though that other person was going to be able to give her more money, she had enough confidence in me, just like that granddaughter is going to have more than enough confidence in Gabe. Okay. And the deal that I did was just a small property in the city. Okay. Now, I'll tell you right now what the wholesale fee is going to be on that one. It's going to be $14,500 simply for being the solution. Okay. Now, Gabe's situation is going to be a heck of a lot different because it's obviously bigger numbers, but you know, the fundamentals are going to be all the same. Okay. So understand that you can do that, whether you're talking about storage, you're talking about single family houses, and this equates to everybody. I don't care if you're wholesaling. I don't care if you're buying properties to fix and flip, or if you're buying properties to rent. The fundamentals are going to be the same, because when you're dealing with these sellers, people you're looking for, okay, you have to be able to relate to them. Okay. And also in regards to JD's question with the wholesaling, you know, I was able to buy the price way down. She needed to get rid of it. It was helping her financially. She's going to walk away with money. We're taking over a problem, and there's enough. There's probably, I figure I'm leaving that guy around a minimum of $30,000+ profit on that property. Okay. So I offered her a solution. We got the property, and we were able to get it sold to another guy. Okay. So exactly what Gabe is doing. And for Gabe, that could potentially be, you know, it'll be a $500,000+ deal. Whether he keeps it or not, I don't know. But knowing the way Gabe and Scott Spear work, I'm sure the way they're doing it, they could turn that into probably a $700,000, $800,000 piece of property, if not more than that, based on their previous track record. Okay. So I have to congratulate Gabe on what he's doing. So we want to see what happens with that one.
Thank you.
Okay. And I apologize for the long explanation. I just want to be able to show it works for the small deals and the bigger deals. Okay. Any questions, by the way? We don't want to be the only ones talking here.
Are you guys putting
brag on Gabe for 1 minute, if I can? In 2022, Gabe put together a deal in New Mexico, talked to the owner, a self-storage property in New Mexico. I mean, middle of nowhere, trust me. Got a hold of the owner, asked him how much he wanted for the property. He's like, oh, you know, I'd like to get this price for it. Gabe's like, yeah, I think we can make that work. So Gabe reached out to me. On that deal, Gabriel made the wholesale fee on that was $100,000. Let me repeat, the wholesale fee was $100,000 on that deal. The seller got what he wanted for the property. He's happy. The buyer that bought it from Gabriel, I know, is very happy. And Gabe's happy too. And that's a win-win-win all the way around. Everybody wins. Yeah, it's a big wholesale fee, but guess what? Gabe hustled. Gabe, you know, got this. He didn't beat the seller up. He got the seller exactly what the seller wanted price-wise, and found a buyer for it, and everybody won. So that's what you're doing, is you're helping people. This guy, Gabe, correct me if I'm wrong, he wanted to move to Florida, but he had this storage property and he didn't know how to sell it. He wanted to get rid of it before he moved to Florida.
Yeah.
And Gabe called, right place, right time.
I think it was Florida. Was it, he was in New Mexico. I think he wanted to move to, I don't know if it was Florida or Colorado or something, but he wanted to get the heck out of there and liquidate some of his assets and businesses. So he just said, I gotta go. So something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So not a bad payday. Trust me, that is a super grand slam. You are not going to see those every day. But to get one a year, man, that's awesome. So But that's it. It's just me bragging on Gabe. I'm done. So anybody got any questions or comments or anything you want to add? Go ahead. I'm done talking.
So did you buy that property and, flip it to somebody else, or was it just you had an end buyer lined up for that storage property?
The one in New Mexico, we had an end buyer already. We wholesaled it. So same concept. I put it under agreement after the numbers work, and Scott went and found the buyer and sold the agreement, the contract to him, and he took on the property. Just like that.
Yeah, I guess in layman's terms, that's what wholesaling is you find a property at a low price, you get an agreement signed to take the contract for it, and then you find a buyer for that contract, and you charge the buyer your wholesale fee plus the agreement on the contract, or he completes the contract after you hand it over to him. So that's wholesaling in a nutshell, is you're just middlemaning paperwork, but you do all the physical labor to find the property, negotiate the deal, negotiate the price, get everything all lined up. And that's where the wholesale fee comes from, is you're doing all of the footwork for whoever the end buyer is going to be.
How did you come up with the actual fee on that one? Like the 100,000, where'd you come to that price point with the other person?
You know what? I'm gonna let Scott take that one.
With that one, the $100,000 fee, I knew that by adding a $100,000 fee, the buyer still was getting a good deal. There was enough meat on the bone, we'll say, for the buyer. Even at the $100,000 fee, there was multiple. There was a couple other buyers who wanted the property too, but we went to a buyer that I knew who could perform. He could make a decision quick, and that's what wholesalers are looking for too. If you're looking to buy a property from a wholesaler, have your money ready to go, and be able to make a decision quick. There's been times Joe Lababera has called me with a deal when I was doing properties in Rochester. I was not able to answer the phone. I would call him back 10 minutes later. He'd be like, "Man, I'm sorry, Scott." He goes, "I sold the property." He goes, "I called you. I sold the property." But that's what you want to do, is you want to buy the property right. So the seller got exactly what he wanted. There was no negotiating. Gabriel didn't go back, beat him up on price or anything like that. Gabriel's like, "That's a fair price. We'll do that." You put the wholesale fee on top, or we put the wholesale fee on top, and then the buyer was willing to pay that.
And
so that's how he determined it.
And just for reference, this isn't a house, right? We're not talking about a $400,000 house getting wholesaled at $500,000. How many figures was this deal? 7 or 8?
Six.
It was 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm impressed.
Yes.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
That's good.
Wait. Yeah, 6 figures.
Okay.
Was.
All right.
And Dennis, I'm going to let Joe, if you don't mind, Joe, talk about the 70% rule on the wholesale fee. You buy it, they fix it up, blah, blah, blah. They wanted to get 70%. You know what I mean by that, Joe?
Yeah.
Explain that. That might help Dennis too, to understand how we do things.
Okay, so let's just use $100,000. Okay. Let's just say it's $100,000 piece of property. And this, I actually went over I looked at another house yesterday, which I had to explain this to the exact same person, because he basically had a house worth about 90. He was trying to buy it for 60, but it needed $40,000 worth of work. And he goes, "I want to wholesale it. It's worth 90, but he's getting it at 60. And he still wanted to add, $10,000 for an assignment fee, which would have been 70 plus the 40, you're at 110, but it's only worth 90. That's not wholesale." Okay. So I sat down and reverse engineered it. So you take $100,000 house. Let's just say you look at it and it's going to need $25,000 worth of work. Now you're down to $75,000. Let's just say you want to make a $5,000 assignment fee. Now you're down to $70,000. Then you have closing costs for the buyer. These are all things that your buyer is going to look at. Let's just throw in, make it even 5. Okay, that brings it down to $65,000. And the buyer's also gonna have to throw in commission when he sells it. So that's to be another 6%, which is another $6,000. That brings you down to $59,000. And let's just say the buyer wants to make a minimum of a $30,000 profit. So that brings it down. You take 30,000 off the 59, that brings you down to $29,000. So basically you would have to get that property at no more than $29,000 to make it work for the buyer. You reverse engineer it. Some people want to be all in with everything, no more than 70%. So if you figure it out, by the time you're done out the door, after it's fixed up to your end buyer, as long as you're into it for no more than $70,000, at least $30,000 worth of profit potential. People usually jump all over that one. Okay. Any questions on that? I know I went kind of fast on that.
I think
Dennis?
that's super important. And also when you're doing wholesale deals, just from my own experience, just watch and try and work with a local wholesaler who knows the market. Typically, if you see somebody wholesaling a property in Rochester, New York, and they live in Detroit or they live in Maryland or whatever, because we do see some people coming in and trying to get bank, short sales and whatnot. They have no idea what the market bears. There was one I saw over, this was probably a week ago. There was somebody trying to wholesale a flip that needed work at $150,000 in a neighborhood where the average home is worth 100 and it needed 40 grand to work. So, and they were from like Detroit, and they bought it for 90 on a short sale. So they needed to get their money out of it, but the house is only worth 100 when it's fixed up in that neighborhood. And they're trying to get 140 something. They're out of Detroit. They have no idea what they're doing. Like, they're going to lose their butt. That house was sold. It was assessed at 84. It was sold a year and a half ago in the peak of the pandemic for 120. So they overpaid, and then it was foreclosed on at 92. So like, you do the math and the numbers just don't work. It doesn't support it. And they were trying to get 150. The Skyview, the house was $157,000 according to Zillow, right? Which we all know is crap. $150,000 surrounded by 90, 100, and $110,000 homes. Nothing special about it. Built in like 1910. Absolutely no outstanding anything. And you just look at it like the numbers don't work. They never will work. This is going to have to, go for 40 grand to make it worth what needs to be done to it. It just can't happen.
Thanks. That really works. It helps out a lot. Thank you.
What does anybody else have they'd like to bring up or discuss, or questions to ask, anything like that?
Real quick. Go ahead.
Nope.
I was just gonna ask, finally with the wholesaling with JD again, would there be a way I can shadow you guys on the deal and kind of learn that way? Question mark.
Yeah, we're all here to help each other. Absolutely. All of our information's up on the chat box. Call.
Will do.
That's the power of this group. Anyone else got anything you want to go over? Any questions you may have? Put it out there.
Actually, Joe, can I give you an update real quick on that property that me, you, and Andy were discussing in the last meeting? Remember the one in Nebraska when the guy wanted to sell me his property on future value, and those numbers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you quick about that one. So I called him on it. I actually called him out on the 27th of December, so a few days before New Year's. And I asked him, I said, okay, so I'm looking at your numbers here, and I see your gross profit, your gross sales have gone up or down a little bit. I can't remember, but the thing is though, your expenses are going down. Tell me in what universe that do taxes and insurance go down? Because I don't remember that in my home, because my taxes keep going up. He pulls out his paper. He goes, wait a minute. He goes, wait a minute. He goes, oh crap. I'm like, what? He's like, these are 2022 projections. I'm like, I thought they're 2023. He's like, no, first of all, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was playing around with the numbers and stuff like that. And the thing of it is that forget about that. Throw that away. I go, what? He goes, just throw that away. That conversation never happened. I said, oh my God. Okay. So then I said, I said to him, I said, since it's New Year's, about to be New Year's, Eve or whatever, or the end of the year, I said, why don't we do this? Why don't we just wait a couple of days? Give me your 2022 numbers, income and expenses, and then we'll work off of that. So he's like, yeah, why not? So what he did was he gave me Saturday evening, he true to his word, he emailed me his final closing numbers. And now that we have the real picture, I made an offer to him of what was it, $400,000 cash and $450,000 owner financing at 3% interest over 20-year amortization. So he's not, he liked it. He didn't say no, but he wanted to talk to CPA today, and tomorrow we're gonna hopefully close the deal. So or go back and forth, whatever it is. But I'm glad we talked about it, because the guy's like, oh my God, like this. So actually worked out.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that's in Nebraska.
Yeah. And the guy's like, I asked him, have you ever sold? You've been in the bank for 30 years. Have you ever seen someone try to get a loan for future value? He's like, no, and you should never do that too. So forget about it. Like, okay.
Oh, that's great. It sounds like you connected with him.
Yeah.
And he appreciated you doing that. And look at that now. He may have another $400,000+ deal.
Yep.
Now, are you going to try, if you get that, are you going to try holding that? Are you going to try doing equity, or are you going to try wholesaling that out, Gabe?
My goal structure, I want to wholesale this one. So
that's fantastic, Gabe. Good for you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I know we're getting down on time over here.
What's the driving park and Lake Ave area? Is that a decent area in Rochester?
It depends, and the prices vary enormously over there, depending on what street you're at. So you got to be careful.
Well, it's like basically right on the corner, driving park and Lake Ave, the apartment building. I was sort of looking at.
You can give me a call if you want. It's just, there's a lot of different factors I take into account when I look at apartment buildings. I want to know how many ones and twos, is it separate, utilities, what kind of tenants there, is it Section 8, is it cash paying, flat roof, pitched roof, brick, all that stuff. So if you want to call me offline, you're more welcome to do that. It's 14613 area over there, because you're right near, not too far from Maplewood, which is not a bad area. Again, the streets vary over there. Right. So you're kind of like on the fringes of things happening over there.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you a call a little bit later here.
Okay. I don't know if anyone else has any more questions. I know I can hang around for a few extra minutes over here because we want to be respectful of everybody's time. I know it's just about 10:30. I know some people have time constraints, and some people probably jumped out while they're supposed to be working. So we appreciate everybody coming on over here. I know it's a new year, new beginning. So I want to say thank you very much. And I don't know if Scott wants to end with anything.
Good. Hang for a little bit. Thanks everybody for joining, and thanks everybody for sharing in the beginning. And make 2023 a great year. Make 2023 the best year of your life. You know, just kind of make that decision, go forward. Yeah, there's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be things that knock you down, but man, you just got to get back up. That's it. And there'll be some big things, but big changes happening in 2023 for a lot of people in real estate. And if you stick with it and you're ready for it, you're going to make money. So that's all I got, but I can hang out for a little bit too.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Go do real estate if you have to jump off. So Scott, what's the temperature down there in Savannah? Do we need to mail you a snowball? Do you miss snow? Oh.
Yeah. Nope, I don't miss it at all.
Joe, we don't even have a snowball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no snowball out there to
You guys don't
mail.
make a snowball? That's right. Come on now. You're not in Buffalo, Joe. I know that.
Scott, if you miss Rochester, stick your head in the freezer for a few minutes. It'll bring you back.
There you go. I used to be able to do that, but now I have a refrigerator that freezes on the bottom, so it's a little harder. So.
Oh, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, way. Oh.
Things are good here. Just looking forward to continuing on. So, I won't, in 2 weeks, I probably will not be on the nighttime Aries meeting. So
okay.
I have a mastermind to be at. So, yeah.
We're going to miss you.
Cool.
We'll have to get like 4 other people.
Okay, yeah. Like a hemorrhoid.
Yeah, right.
What mastermind are you
Perfect.
Scott?
Say again.
What mastermind are you going to?
This one, it's an Ascend mastermind. It's a group of people all across the United States. We're mostly real estate investors and business owners. There is, let's see, 28 of us that'll get together. And we just kind of share. The biggest thing we share is like, what struggles are we having? That's what we do. It's an Ascend mastermind. I'm part of that. Well-run group. And just the meeting happens to be in Florida, lucky for me. So, yep. So, Andy McQuaid, you able to update the website?
I got the ones fixed for now. We're going to have to go through and delete all the prior appointments, all the prior meeting schedules, and recreate them from scratch, basically. So it'll be fun. It'll be a project, not really one I'm looking forward to. But the Facebook is correct. The meetup is correct. It was just the website that was jacked up. And it was jacked up because I guess we wrongly assumed that they had all been updated when we fixed it for the last couple months of last year, and it apparently didn't get done after January. So it is what it is.
Right. I think we had like at one point, I think we had like what, 20 or 24 people on there.
At the peak, I think we had like 18, 19, which was good.
Yeah.
And some people came and stayed for a few minutes and bailed like early. And we kept adding people as the call went on. So we probably ended up with closer to 20, 22. Yeah. Hard to say.
Good.
Not bad for having a screwed up link. So
I know.
Good. Thanks to you.
No.
Yeah.
The right place, right time. I'm glad I joined because I was like, do I need to be on there? It's going to record itself. Maybe I shouldn't show up.
We're glad you did, Andy. Let me tell you, we're very grateful.
I had like 4 text messages from people. JD was the last one to text me. He was like, hey, I can't get in. Like, ah. All right.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you're on. I called you in a panic. So that's for sure.
Well, my ringer's off, so I didn't hear anybody call me at all. My phone wasn't going off because I was getting on the Zoom, so I silenced it all. And I sent that text to you guys, just being like, hey, make sure you get on. Use the link I sent you a couple weeks ago. And Joe's like, nothing's working. No.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
my
Drew
first thought,
on a
my
meetup.
first thought was to text Joe. I'm like, oh wait, Joe doesn't know anything about computers. Never mind.
I'm the wrong person.
Right. Yeah, if there's technical issues, I guess text me. That's the way to fix it.
Oh,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
we appreciate it, Andy, very much. Oh my God. So,
Yeah, all we can do is fix the problems when they happen. It'd be
Yeah.
nice to avoid them,
Right.
but not gonna avoid them all.
man.
I said, the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
man.
Well, I'm kind of excited because we're gonna have our first board and new officers meeting tomorrow morning. So everybody on the board and all the new officers are gonna be actually physically at Rich Tyson's old office over on Winton. So we're gonna be doing an in-person, like, here's the 2023 plan meeting. This should be good.
Wow.
So looking forward to that because it's the new, we got new board members, we got new officers, and a lot of them don't know each other. Like Matt Druin doesn't know Bob Taylor, doesn't really know Bob Napier, Same thing with Brian Balthazar. Like Brian does his group with Marty, but other than that, he's still new to the game. He's 26. He's free as secretary at 26 years old. And he's fired up to do it. And that's what he wants to do. He owns his own machine shop and he invests in real estate, and that's how he makes his living.
Good for him. That's great. It'll be exciting. So, well, I don't know about you guys. I think we're all set.
All right. Well, it was fun. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Good
you.
meeting.
Thank
Good
you.
meeting. We bailed it out. There was a lot of new
Thank
people
you
on,
guys.
so
All
bailed it
right.
out.
And Brandy,
Yes.
don't forget what you've been tasked to do.
My RV?
No, the string.
Are you going to take a school bus and turn it into an RV? Is that what your plan is?
Oh, she will.
I will
For
take
sure.
anything and turn it into an RV if it gets me to travel the world.
Oh, there you go. You should do the
Mhm.
school bus conversion.
All right.
I'll do it.
It's like flipping.
Okay,
It's like
here's
flipping
your
a bus,
task.
except you're fixing up a bus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Here's your task, Brandy, and I want
Okay.
to see this on video. I want you to go to Joe and get a piece of string. Say, Joe, I need a piece of string about 6 to 8 inches long. I want you to put that piece of string onto the table, and I want you to try to push it and see what happens. That's what happens whenever I try to push Joe. I can't push a string.
It goes in the
So
opposite direction,
that's
right?
all. That's probably. That's right. It's an old guy term, probably. So, right, Andy?
It is.
Andy knew what I meant, I think.
Yep. Yep. You can't push a string
So
unless you
funny.
start it first, and then I guess you probably could.
There you
Like-
go.
Joe's trying to hide over
go.
there. Look at him.
Oh man.
All
All right,
So-
I'm out.
right, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a
Bye.
great day.
Good day.
See you guys. Bye.
Yeah.